Hello and welcome back. This is Robert McPhee, the author of Manifesting for Non-Gurus, and welcome back to this series of 3 videos about comfort zones. This is part 2. We talked about the definition of comfort zones in part 1, and now we're going to look at just how we get ourselves stuck in comfort zones and why it can be so difficult to get out of them. So again, this is the book Manifesting for Non-Gurus. This is the book that this work is really based on, and it's the source of our solutions to how to get out of these issues that we're talking about sometimes getting stuck in. And in the first video we talked about the importance of this is really based on results. It's about creating lasting change. We showed you a 4-part model that explained just what a comfort zone is, just what a self-fulfilling prophecy is, and hopefully helped you understand how it's really possible to get stuck in a comfort zone that is based on a result that you're really not happy with. The word comfort zone is almost a misnomer because we can be very uncomfortable in that place, but ironically somehow just drawn to stay there because of that powerful belief about who we really are. So we're going to look at what most people do when they decide it's time to make a change, when they look at that lower right-hand corner of the diagram we were just looking at and decide that they want a new result. We're going to look at where that comes from and why what most people do doesn't work. And what most people do is always with the best of intentions, but oftentimes is not getting them the result that they really want. So again, we're going to look at this diagram. You'll notice that in the upper left-hand corner where that green arrow is now, we've got some different images. And we're going to look at some different external influences and look at how those external influences can point out to us that it might be better to be living a more healthy, a more fit, a more vibrant life. And we might see an ad on the television for a health club, or we might see some beautiful person who inspires us to either be more like them or want to spend more time with people like that. And what will happen is, based on those external influences, we'll actually start thinking differently. We can actually have different images in our minds, we can have different thoughts, different ideas, if you will, about what actions we could take in order to create more of the image that's showing up in our mind. And I'll give you a simple example of someone might decide that it's a good time, they might have the idea that it's a good time to join the gym, to get in shape. We often see this January 1st. People say, this is it, this time I really mean it. They respond to their peers, to their advertisements they see on television, whatever it might be. They get an idea, a thought that they're going to take the action of joining the gym. And in some ways, at some point, they might even start seeing the result that they ultimately want, called looking better, called losing weight, starting to get in shape. But what most people aren't aware of, and unless they've been around this kind of work, is they're not aware that those new results are actually going to make them very uncomfortable. There's a reason why so many people join the gym on January 1st and are nowhere to be seen by the time February 1st rolls around. And that is that they get very uncomfortable. Because remember we said our comfort zone occurs when our belief about who we are matches the results we're getting. And if we change our results without changing the belief that we have about who we really are, then what we've done is we've gotten ourselves out of our comfort zone. We've kind of tipped that and made ourselves out of balance, and there will be tension to do one of two things. And I think you know what most people do. They go right back to taking the same actions they were taking before to create the same results that they were getting before so they can go back to their comfort zone. Now obviously you know this is not the strategy that we're going to recommend. It's not a strategy that's going to get lasting results for anyone. It is a strategy that we see people do over and over again that doesn't work. And I think you can see the direction that we're going with this, but I want to point out that even in the obvious direction that we're going with this, where we are going to look forward and we're going to look at changing, first of all, our beliefs about who we are, rather than starting by changing our thinking and changing our actions and changing our results. But something else that's really important to be aware of, and this is another trap that people can fall into, is even though it is much more powerful to start by changing our beliefs about who we are so that our new results will match that new belief, if you look at our definition of comfort zone, is that our beliefs about who we are match the results we're getting. If we currently believe we're out of shape and the image in the mirror validates that we're out of shape, if we just start changing our beliefs but our results haven't changed, what have we done? In fact, we've just done the reverse of what we did before. We've gotten out of our comfort zone, only this time we've shifted it in the other direction. And what happens for people is we get this thing called self-talk. And we say, how many of you talk to yourselves? How many of you have that conversation going on in your mind? We have people declare that they are a healthy, fit person, and they look in the mirror and they see that they're not. And they talk themselves out of it. The ideas, the thoughts that are going on in their mind are going to talk themselves out of it. So just as easily as we got stuck before with a result that didn't match our belief about who we are, this self-talk can get us stuck in a place where our beliefs about who we are don't match the results that are showing up. We can literally talk ourselves out of that new belief in order to stay in the old comfort zone. So either way we go, we can fall into the trap. We can just get back to that old comfort zone. We can get back to that place where the results, even if they do show up, don't last. Or even worse, sometimes we never even get those new results to show up because we go right back to where we were before. So we're going to go ahead and move on to part 3 in just a minute here. And we're going to show you a way that you can shift those beliefs, you can shift out of that comfort zone, you can get to a place where you've actually created a new comfort zone and are going to get those results that are really going to last as that tension, as that resistance goes away. So that's part 2. Then go ahead and stick with me. We're going to move on to part 3 that'll show you how to bust out of those comfort zones and create the results you want and make them last.